Today we'll be looking into some shocking stories of kids who did the unimaginable. They killed their parents. We'll try to understand why and how these tragic events happened. Dylan Shoemaker. In 2013, when Dylan Shoemaker was only 16 years old, he committed a horrifying crime while babysitting his girlfriend's two boys in Springville, New York. One of the boys was 23-month-old Austin Smith. During the babysitting, Austin started crying, and Shoemaker became frustrated that the cries would wake up the other baby. Shoemaker put a pillow over Austin's head and repeatedly punched it to make him stop crying. This brutal beating caused severe bleeding in Austin's brain, ultimately leading to his death. Upon returning from work, Ashley Smith, Shoemaker's girlfriend and Austin's mother, discovered her lifeless son. Shoemaker was arrested for the crime, but claimed it was an accident and didn't intend to kill Austin. During the trial in 2014, the jury did not believe his claims of an accident and found him guilty of murder. He received a maximum life sentence of 25 years, later reduced to 18 years of incarceration. Shoemaker is serving his sentence at the Clinton Correctional Facility in New York. Due to the reduced sentence, he might be eligible for parole in 2031. During the period leading up to his trial, Shoemaker commented that he might try to use emotional tactics in court to gain sympathy. He mentioned that he could cry during the trial, exploiting his young age, inexperience, and anger issues to elicit sympathy from the jury. However, the judge recognized Shoemaker's manipulative behavior and called him a manipulator and deceiver. The judge also mentioned a phone call in which Shoemaker suggested that he could potentially use his appearance as a young, white, blonde individual to win favor with the jury. Nehemiah Grieco. On Friday afternoon, a judge in Albuquerque decided on Nehemiah Grieco's case. Grieco was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his parents and three younger siblings when he was only 15 years old. In her sentencing memo, the judge stated that Grieco must be punished for his actions and society needs to be protected from him. During the sentencing, Grieco's family was present, with some members wanting him to remain in jail while others wanted him to be released. Grieco shot and killed his parents and siblings inside their home in South Valley in 2013. Judge Alyssa Hart handed down a sentence of 7 years for the murders of his parents and 3 life sentences with the possibility of parole for the murders of his brothers and sisters. Judge Hart explained that finding a balance between what is best for the community and what is best for the defendant is challenging due to the lack of suitable resources available to the court. Grieco's attorney urged the judge to find a solution that would provide the necessary treatment for Grieco instead of just imprisoning him. Grieco had already served almost 7 years, and since his life sentence will run concurrently, he might be eligible for parole in 30 years. Sierra Halfsurf and Aaron Guerrero. Sierra Halfsurf and Aaron Guerrero have been given a life sentence in prison, but they may have the chance to be released on parole after 22 years. They were found guilty of killing Halfsurf's father in April 2021 and faced charges including open murder and credit card fraud. The sentencing was part of a plea deal to avoid the death penalty for Aaron Guerrero, who was 18 at the time of the crime. They were arrested in Utah on April the 9th, after Halfsurf's dad's body was discovered in a fire. During the court proceedings, Halfsurf revealed instances of sexual abuse and harassment from her father, claiming he was a drug addict and a pedophile. Guerrero expressed remorse for killing Daniel Halfsurf and apologized to the victim's family. According to the investigation, the two suspects stabbed Daniel Halfsurf more than 70 times, attempted to dismember his body with tools, and then set it on fire. The body was found in the garage of his home in Las Vegas. The father had objected to his daughter dating Guerrero. What's creepy is a video circulating showing both teens making jokes about the murder, with Guerrero referencing it in a YouTube channel and Halfsurf cautioning against putting it on camera. Tyler Hadley. In July 2011, 17-year-old Tyler Hadley decided to throw a party at his parents' home in Port St. Lucie, Florida. He posted the invitation on social media, leading to over 100 people, some of whom didn't even know him, to show up. Hadley claimed that his parents were away, which surprised many who knew him, as he had never hosted a party before and was generally reserved. As the party got underway, it became rowdy and chaotic, with guests disregarding Hadley's requests not to smoke indoors. However, as the night progressed, Hadley confided in a close friend that he had done something terrible. He admitted to killing his parents before the party began. Initially, his friend thought it was a joke, but upon investigating, he found the bodies of Tyler's parents in the master bedroom. Hadley later confessed to using a claw hammer to commit the murders and had hidden his parents' cell phones to prevent them from calling for help. He also revealed that he had taken ecstasy before the killings. Tyler Hadley approached his mother while she was using the computer and struck her on the back of the head with a hammer. His father rushed into the room when she began screaming, and Hadley attacked him with the hammer. After the fatal attacks, Hadley moved his parents' bodies into the master bedroom and left the murder weapon on the floor between them. He had spent around 3 hours cleaning up the evidence of the crime. He threw all the evidence into the master bedroom, covering his parents' bodies. Afterwards, he took a shower and prepared to welcome his party guests. During his second sentencing hearing, Tyler Hadley showed no emotion as he entered Judge Gary Sweet's courtroom on the second floor of the St. Lucie County Courthouse. He avoided looking at his family members seated in the front row. This hearing was held due to the overturning of his previous sentence in 2014. At that time, Hadley had pleaded no contest to 2 counts of first-degree murder and received a life sentence in prison. However, the sentence was later overturned on appeal due to new national guidelines concerning the sentencing of juveniles. Seth Pravacki. In late November 1998, the Pravacki family gathered for a late Thanksgiving celebration in Muskegon, Michigan. However, the day took a horrific turn as 5 family members were shot dead before they could sit down to dinner. The 6th family member, Seth Pravacki, the youngest, became the prime suspect in the brutal murders. The murders occurred around 12:45 p.m., but weren't discovered until nearly 12 hours later. The parents of April Boss, invited to the Thanksgiving dinner, went to the Pravacki house to look for her when she didn't show up for her job. They stumbled upon a gruesome scene and called the police. 5 family members were found dead inside the house, all shot in the head. The victims included April Boss, John Pravacki, Jedediah Pravacki, Linda Pravacki, and Stephen Pravacki. An 18-year-old man named Stephen Wallace came forward to the police and revealed that his friend Seth Pravacki had confessed to him about the murders. Wallace had even helped dispose of the murder weapon at Pravacki's request. Later that night, he was assisting Pravacki in covering up the crime when April Boss's parents arrived. The investigation and search for answers continued after Seth Pravacki's capture and confession. Seth Pravacki admitted to the brutal and shocking details of the murders he committed out of anger and rage. He recounted how he first shot his brother Jedediah in the back of the head as he sat on the couch in the living room. He then moved his brother's body to the basement and waited for his father, Stephen Pravacki, to return home with his grandfather, John Pravacki. In an ambush in the garage, Seth shot both his father and grandfather in the head, and it took 2 shots to kill his grandfather. He then went upstairs, where his mother Linda Pravacki had just finished showering and shot her in the head. The final victim was April Boss, who had arrived at the house expecting to have Thanksgiving dinner with the Pravacki family. Seth shot her in the head as she entered the kitchen. He claimed that he did not know April was coming over for dinner. After the killings, Seth asked for the help of his friend Stephen Wallace to try to remove and bury the bodies. They attempted to make the scene look like a robbery, but they were interrupted when April Boss's parents unexpectedly arrived at the house. Seth Pravacki is currently serving his life sentence. That concludes today's video. Thanks for watching.